Welcome, everybody, to Season 4, Episode 2 of The Buzz with yours truly, Mama T. We got a great episode for you tonight. We are going to be joined by Alice Micele, singer-songwriter. She's got two bands right now, Force of Nature and Petty Thievery, Tom Petty tribute band. We're going to chat about her 40-year career in the music industry and where she got her start. But first, we're going to hear from Grand Forks Best Source. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting-edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on-location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Mama T sent you. Hi, Alice.
Hi, Mama T. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show. You're so welcome. You know, I came across your videos on Facebook and I was just like, I got to talk to this gal. Like, I love your videos. They're like the backgrounds, the lyrics, your voice. I mean, how did all this start?
Oh, goodness. Well, I've always been a singer ever since I was a little kid. And I've always loved music and I always wanted to write songs. And I started writing songs when I was just very small, about everything that was going on. And I'd walk my dog in the rain and write songs. But when I was 17, I went to my first concert, which was David Grisman Quintet at Carnegie Hall. And I was the singer in this rock band called White Rabbit. We did Jefferson Airplane and Steppenwolf and stuff like that. We had a really fun band. But I always wanted to play guitar. And I went to see David Grisman Quintet and Tony Rice was playing the guitar. And my mind was blown. And I came home and I called up the guitar player on the phone in my band at 1 a.m. or whatever time it was when I got back home to New Jersey from New York City, where I was living. And I was like, you got to teach me how to play guitar. And my mom had this old classical guitar that only had 5 strings on it. And so he was like, well, which strings is it missing? And it was missing the highest string. He goes, that's fine. So he said, okay, you need to hang up. This is back before cell phones. Okay. Right. See all the little gray hairs. So he said, hang up the phone, then pick up the phone and listen to the note of the dial tone and tune the second thickest string to that note. And if you could do that, call me back. And so I was like, all right, I tuned it. I'm like, okay, it's tuned. What do I do? So then he taught me how to tune the rest of the strings to that string. And then he taught me Sugar Mountain by Neil Young.
All over the phone?
Yeah, over the phone.
Oh, my goodness.
Put your finger here. Put your finger there. Now play it for me. Yep, that's right. Okay, now move up to this. Now put your finger here. Put your finger there. And I learned Sugar Mountain and I was off to the races. I just basically played guitar all day, every day. Like anytime I could have to play guitar, that's all I wanted to do.
Played your 5-string until your fingers bled, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, it was perfect because it was a classical. So they had softer strings. They had nylon strings.
Oh, okay.
But that guitar didn't have great intonation, but it was okay. I actually think my nephew started learning how to play on that guitar years later, but I quickly, I had 3 jobs at the time, and I quickly took all my money and bought myself a nice acoustic guitar that had steel strings. And then, I definitely had calluses for 40 years.
It's funny, you pointed to your hair. So they say, what do you call a blonde who dyes her hair brunette? Artificial intelligence? Well, this is artificial youth. You said you've been You've been a singer since you were a small child. Where was the first place you sang? Where did you sing when you were a kid?
Oh gosh, well, I sang in all the choirs and everything. But I got a solo in 6th grade, and we were singing like this old song, Freedom Isn't Free. And like I had this one line in the song, and I sang it, and my voice squeaked. And it's on a freaking vinyl record.
Oh
Okay.
no.
They made a vinyl record. So like, but I always laugh because I'm like, well, that's actually good because my first record that I ever made, I totally biffed it, and that's okay. Like, it taught me that when you're on, when you're a performer, you're just a human like everybody else, and you're going to make mistakes. And when you see the greats up on stage and they make a mistake, they laugh it off and they keep going.
Yeah.
I've seen so many amazing performers in my day, who are so inspiring, including Odetta, who she made a mistake one time and she just made the biggest joke about it. And I just was like, I love her. I love that she can do it's like you just make fun of it and you move on.
And
And
especially, especially if it's like your original music, most people don't even know you messed up.
well, they'll know. Like people like a lot of my shows, people come, they actually know my music, so they're familiar and they just kind of laugh. And there have been shows where I've been requested to play a song that I haven't played in a really long time. And I'm like, I might not remember the words. You're going to have to help me. And so then the audience has to like shout out the words to me. And then it comes back. And then I'm like, okay, I got this now.
Or
But
you end up
I'm,
singing the same verse 2 verses in a row because you can't remember the second verse, so you just
I
sing the
mean,
first one over again.
sometimes it happens. I was an old Deadhead. Okay. I like followed the Grateful Dead around. So like they would make stuff up and they would make like, it didn't matter. So I really learned that the most important thing is really just connecting with people. It's like if you give 110% every night, mistakes are not what's important. It's important that you're sharing your whole self and your whole heart with people and that you're being vulnerable and you're allowing yourself to give. Like it's all about what do you have to give to people. So for me, that's really way more important than perfection.
Oh, definitely. So, this is my late boyfriend, little Bobby. He was a blues musician. Yeah, he passed away last year, and I
I'm
started
so
this show.
sorry.
I started that he had he was on his 12th album. Um, he had like 3 DVDs out. Um, but I'm on another podcast that I decided that I was going to take a break from for a while, and he's like, "Babe, why don't you just start your own? Just start your own." And I was like, "But who would I interview?" And he's like, "Really? Like, you know how many like so he we had a big party at his bar. We had a bar that's just down the street here, and we had a big party. And he got on the stage and he was playing for me and everybody. And he says, "Yeah," he says, "I didn't know if she was going to be able to handle this music life, but she took to it like a duck to water." He says, "All the famous people I know, they don't even want to talk to me anymore. They just want to talk to her." But I don't blame them because she's a lot cuter than I am. But after he passed away, I decided to carry on his legacy. He always supported
Love that.
musicians. He supported live music. He wanted to get people's stories out there. He wanted to bring music to the kids. I mean, so I've just been still doing it.
It's so beautiful. I wish
Do
I would
you
have gotten to meet him.
Oh my goodness. You kind of can. There's some videos out. I'll send you links later, but he was awesome. And he wasn't all about perfection either. Like sometimes he'd forget the words to his own songs. He'd be up on stage and just laughing but he could rip, so that kind of made I mean
Yeah, like it happens. You just do you go with it and you just do your like all you can do is give your 110% every night.
yeah. It was I mean, he was an awesome performer. There was a lot of big names that, "Hey, I'm short a guitar player," or, "Hey, I'm short a bass player." or
You would
can
just
you get a
step
ride?
on. That's really awesome. I love
Yeah.
musicians like that. They're my favorites.
So tell me about how White Rabbit started.
Oh, well, that was a band that was already kind of a thing in my it wasn't really they were mostly from different towns, but it was already a band. And then they asked me to my really good friend Alan Celeste, who's an amazing keyboard player that now lives in North Carolina. Um, he wanted me to come in the band and sing because he knew I could sing. So we started writing songs together. And then I loved Grace Slick, so I wanted to like sing all those songs too. And since I could sing the song White Rabbit, and my name's Alice, so it kind of made sense. Go ask Alice. But then we actually ended up changing the name. The name became Eon Ocean for a while. But then when I started playing guitar, honestly, I just wanted to do my own thing. I started writing right away. And admittedly, it's not like I started writing great songs right away, but I was writing a lot and I was practicing and I was learning and and much to the credit of my dear friends, some of whom still come to see me play, which is kind of hilarious. They were there at the beginning and they had to listen to me play out of tune and learn songs wrong and then figure them out. And like I would sit there at the party and everybody be partying. And I'm in the corner with my guitar trying to figure out how to do this or that. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to play Dust in the Wind now, or whatever, and I would be like, okay, Joni Mitchell, or so I was very blessed with very cool people that put up with me practicing in front of them, basically. But it gave me a good sense of, just be present and, and don't stress.
Who were your biggest supporters in your music career?
I mean, I've had so many different people, that support me over the years, my ex-partner, my kids, my friends, my family, my current husband. Like so many people have supported me over the years. It's like there's way too many people to mention just one. It's pretty much everybody in my life has always been really supportive.
Do you have any grandkids?
I have one. I have a granddaughter and she is 3 and she is the light of my life.
And see, and that's why I'm a little off today because I just had my granddaughter. She is 4.5 months. I just had her for overnight.
Oh, that's so special.
Oh, the little squishy.
Oh my gosh, that baby smell. Oh.
I know. Well, depends on what end you're smelling.
No, yeah. I mean the head, the good baby smell, but whatever, it's worth it. The bad smell is worth it to get to be with them.
And how does something so adorable create such an awful smell? You're so small. Where did all that come from?
What did you eat? You haven't even eaten anything. All you do is drink milk.
Right? Oh, the reason I asked was I was wondering if you had any grandchildren that were old enough to be fans. Does your granddaughter listen to your music?
Well, it's really cute. So I have my music that I do, which is the majority of what I do, which is my original music. And then I have a side project called Petty Thievery, and we do all Tom Petty, and it's a really fun project, and it's a great outlet for me. And one of the first time she came to see Petty Thievery, she comes up to the stage and she says, "Nona," because she calls me Nona, which is Italian grandma. "Nona, I'm here." And I said, "Yes, I can see you're here." And then she says, "Play the Otter song," because I made a kids album back in 2013. My kids were way grown, but when they were little, they're like, "You need to make a kids album," because I'd write all these kids songs for them. And so I finally did it when I finally had time, when they were all grown up and stuff. And so she loves that song. And I was like, I can't do that one at this gig. But the last Alice gig that I played that she came to, I said, I'm going to play your song. And she goes, "The Otter song." So I got to play it for her. It was really sweet.
So she is a fan.
I guess.
That's awesome. Well,
Like,
only a certain album, though. I'm guessing.
well, no, she loves to dance. Like she'll come to my gigs or Petty Thievery, and she just stands in the front and dances. And she
Well,
makes friends with everybody. She's so friendly. She is a hoot.
that's adorable. We are going to have a commercial here in about 3 minutes. You were talking about the band you're in now. That's Force of Nature.
So Force of Nature is my backup band. And I don't get to play with them all the time because mostly when I'm on tour, like greater distances, I really can't afford to bring a band with me because like we have the Sprinter van and that's it. With Force of Nature, it's more of a local thing. And my bass player is living in Montana right now. I live in Oregon. And my bass player is in Montana taking care of his wonderful mom who's elderly and needs him to be there. So we're not doing a whole lot of Force of Nature stuff right now, but that is my backup band. So it's Alice Micele and Force of Nature. And when I get to play with them, I'm in heaven.
So are they on Rise with you?
Rise is some of Force of Nature. The drummer, oh no, actually it's the bass player from Force of Nature and the guitar player from Petty Thievery is on that. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hear it because I think coming out of our break, that's what we're going to hear.
Okay, great.
And then you can tell me how you actually got the band together because I always love to hear these stories about like where you met this guy or how you got that together and who plays with you when you go out on tour if you can't bring a band with you. I mean, I've got all kinds of questions for you.
I play mostly solo, but I want to say for Rise before we get to it that it's a kind of a heavy song. I wrote it as a love song to my community after the Alameda fire came through and basically torched several of our towns. And most of my musician friends, several members of my bands lost everything in the fire. So it means a lot to me. It was a love song to the community.
Okay, well, let's get to our commercial break and then we'll listen to Rise.
Thank you.
When it comes to podcasts and social media, stick with the best. Grand Forks' best source. Keep up to date with local happenings and news, interviews with city leaders, athletes, nonprofits, and of course, lots of feel-good stories. Grand Forks' best source is a great way to advertise your business or events with the most economical ad packages available. And contact us to find out how you can have your own podcast with the best studio in the area. Check out Grand Forks' best source on your favorite social media app. Grand Forks' best source, the Forks' best local podcast. Call 701-213-0863 or online at gfbestsource.com. We love the Forks. Grand Forks' best source, giving the Forks their identity again.
What's up, Red Lake Nation Radio? This is your host, DJ Soko. Come join me if you're Ace or Donnell from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Soko Saturday, where I have a new segment, Soko's Metal Madness Hour from 7 to 8 p.m., bringing the North all the new and classic metal to the masses. The first 3 hours will be the old school hits, the rock and roll classics, and all other genres of music. Even country. So come take a cruise with me, DJ Soko, bringing the fire right here on 105.3 WRLN, Red Lake Nation Radio. Yeah.
Hey everybody. Season 2 of Adulting with Jake is underway, but while you wait, you can always relive Adulting 101 Season 1 and every excruciating detail and every terrible pun, lame joke, and frankly, every poorly acted scene out now on our channel, cookingwithjakeshow.com.
Visit littlebobbybuzz.com, your source for Little Bobby merch and music. Keep up with the bar and don't forget about the buzz with Mama T. That's littlebobbybuzz.com.
Nothing can prepare you for those flames so hot. We think it's easy to let go of it all till it's not. And nobody can fix it. That's the nature of pain. Grief rolls through our lives and we're never the same. So grab onto this hand. I reach out to you. Alone we are lost. Together we'll pull. Shout your eyes, cry your tears when they're dry. Spread your wings like the phoenix and someday when the smoke clears, we'll see what remains. Seeds left out in the rubble will sprout towards the sun. But let your heart wail now, and let your soul scream. Let those seeds in the rubble become your new dream. Take hold of this hand. I reach out to you. Alone we are lost. Together we'll pull. for a fire that hot. We think it's easy to let go of it all, but it's not. So grab onto these hands. We reach out to you. Thank you.
Wow, that was very touching.
It was really hard to make that video, but I wanted to do something to raise money for my friends and to just try to raise spirits in some way. 2,500 people lost their homes in a matter of hours.
Wow.
And it was really, really scary. I mean, I had one of my dearest girlfriends, my drummer's wife, actually, and her kids came straight to my house, leaving their home burning. And it was just like, it was so traumatic. They walked in the house and it smelled so smoky. And I was just like, oh my God. And they're like, we don't know. She had these 2 little piglets and she was trying to find them and she could not get them to come with her. So anyway, it was just awful. And so, and my other drummer from Petty Thievery also lost his home, and he spent the day helping old people escape. And yeah, so we just kind of like, the community just came together. Like, I just started making vats of soup and bringing them down to the park and feeding people because people had nowhere to go. Like, there was people camped in the parks and stuff. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy.
I thank the Lord that I have never been in anything like that. I've never been at a point where I have lost everything. I mean, I've not due to natural disaster anyway. Speaking of drummer, one of my friends, a drummer, Latimer Boston Boyo, is watching right now.
Hello.
He's a drummer for Acoustics. Actually, I was wearing that shirt earlier. I don't know. I was wearing the shirt.
Oh, well, you had to change to get a little girly for the show, right?
It was a great shirt. There's Acoustics on it. And I actually went to the lead singer's 50th birthday party bus, and Laddie Boy was supposed to be there. But you saw the commercial for the radio station, SoCo Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Laddie does some one-liners on there too. Every once in a while, you'll hear him say, "This is Latimer Boston Boyo, and you're listening to WRL." Yeah. No, I know you're not the drummer anymore. Goodness,
but you still are a drummer, because once a drummer, always a drummer.
Exactly. Like, I can't imagine all.
I love drummers, so
Well, but you're married, so
yeah,
and he is too. Well, pretty much.
Plus, long distance, not so good. I found someone who can live in a van with me several months out of the year. I'm not messing that up. I'll tell you that.
Somebody that you can stand to be in a vehicle with for more than a couple hours at a time. Yes, that is rare.
Best roadie, best driver, best take care of me on the road. Like, I'm very blessed.
Sounds like Bobby talking about me. I was his driver. Like, that's how we met. Like, I was his driver because he's never had a driver's license.
Oh, well, I actually
lived in the same town. We lived in the same town, so I was his driver back in the day. So then I became his girlfriend. I was his drummer again, or his driver again.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was meant to be, I guess.
Yeah.
So how did Force of Nature get together? How did you find all these guys?
Oh, so well, Rob Kohler, my bass player, who's the one that lives in Montana, which is why the band is not really playing together a whole lot right now. Rob and I started playing together in the early 90s. I traveled through Montana and he sat in with me, and then I was like, so then he would come and fly places and we would tour together for like weeks on end. And then he lived in Eugene, Oregon for a while when he was raising his kids. And so we did a lot, and that's like 3 hours away. So we did a lot of shows together over the years. And then Nick came into the band, the drummer. Now, Force of Nature has had several incarnations. The current incarnation, and Nick Kirby, the drummer, is amazing. And he actually came into my band as my bass player because Rob lives in, and so I needed a bass player. When my friend Mikey Stevens was in my band, he played guitar and trumpet with me for years and was an accompanist with me for years. And we were wanting to have a bass player. So we found Nick. And then one day Rob was in town and we were doing this benefit, and I was like, Nick, Rob, like, I don't know we got to make this work. And Nick was like, well, I'm a drummer. That's my first instrument. I've been playing since I was 2. He's like, I'd much rather play drums. So just let me play drums. And Mikey and I kind of looked at each other and we're like, well, okay. And I've never wanted him out of the drum chair. Like, he is the best drummer that I've ever played with, that just understands, like, he just gets the music, So it's really fun playing with him. And then my latest addition is Andy Cassad. And Andy Cassad is a guitar player. Now, Mikey played with me for many years, but Mikey is in his 70s. He retired from touring and he has some health stuff. And he was just like, I don't want to be on the road all the time anymore. So he retired from the band, but he basically has the open door policy of you can come sit in with us anytime you're around when we're playing. So he's no longer an actual member of the band, but he can always sit in. So after Mikey retired, I did a lot of solo stuff, or just me and Rob, or just the trio with the drums and bass. But I really wanted to find another accompanist. And during the lockdown, I started seeing, like, I'd seen Andy play when he was like 21 at this open mic that I went to. And my friend Frankie called me and said, I really want you to come to this open mic. We need to support these young kids. And there's some really good ones. And this kid blew my brain to pieces. He was so good. He does this like tapping and all that. He's just mind-blowing guitar player. And so I've been a fan of his ever since. And he has a band called the Fret Drifters, and they're amazing. And so we started becoming friends, and we were communicating kind of through the computer, and I was watching his live streams and he would watch my live streams. And we just started becoming more friendly. And COVID was over and I would go out and see him. And then one day I just said to him, I said, I love your playing, and I just really like you as a person. And I don't know if you'd be open to ever considering playing with me, but I would be stoked. And I guess it turned out he's been listening to my music since he was younger, and like had really liked what I did and had seen me play at a bunch of festivals. And so he was really stoked. And so we started playing together, and like, he's just ripping. He rips. Like, if we can play the song I Wanna Love, either the live version or the studio version, that's Andy ripping on the guitar, and that's also Rob on bass, and it's also Nick on drums. And then if it's the studio version, it's them plus Jenny Conley Drizos, who's an amazing keyboard player from Portland, who I just love. And she had an old band that I used to love to see, and she's now in the band called the Decemberists, who you may or may not have heard of. They're pretty well known all over the place. But she graces us on the record on a few songs with her keys. So
Okay. Okay, I was writing that down because I'm gonna have to look them up. What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. How often do you guys actually get together? Where do you play?
Well, like I said, we're not playing together right now because Rob is in Montana. So most of my shows are either duo with Andy or trio with Nick playing bass, or solo. And most of my shows are solo shows right now, because I've been, like, last year I toured all through like the Southwest. Well, I did a bunch of shows in Colorado, then went all through the Midwest and played a bunch of shows in the Midwest. Then we came back home. I did a whole West Coast thing, some of the shows with the band. And then last spring, I was on the East Coast all spring. So when I do big, more major tours, I'm mostly touring solo right now.
So that's, I don't know. That kind of must suck in a way, but I mean,
yeah, it would be great to be able to have the guys, but one, like, I'm not going to pull Rob away from his mom, who I adore. Like, I've known Rob and I have been friends for 35 years. Like, his mom means the world to me, and she's, 90 and she needs his care, and I'm not going to be the one that pulls him away from her. So and I haven't like gone to look for, we had another local bass player for a while, who was great, who we were able to do more local gigs with him, but he moved to Hawaii. He was from Hawaii and he lived in Oregon for a while. And then he and his family decided to move back to Hawaii. So I haven't filled the chair with anyone else yet. Eventually that might happen, if this goes on a whole lot longer. But I mean, there's a real magic that happens with solo shows. I mean, it's a whole different animal. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but also touring is expensive, and I can afford to tour alone a lot easier than I can afford to tour. Like then I have to have 2 vans.
Yeah.
And then I have to have, make sure that everyone has a place to stay and food and everything. And like the guarantees are not that big.
Instead of
like
just
indie folk singer songwriter type, like there's just not, I don't make that much money that I can afford that. So
no, I know, and I know bars some venues they just don't want to pay that much money, and they don't understand how expensive it is. Like this is your life. This is all you do. You're not like a weekend warrior. This is what you do for a living. And when they only want to pay you like $200 for a 4-hour show, you're like, that might cover gas to the next town, thanks. But
yeah, exactly. I do a lot of smaller, like I do a lot of like little churches and like smaller. I do a lot of cool gigs. I found I do house concerts. I do music clubs. I do theaters. There's a lot of cool gigs that I get to do. So I'm very blessed with that.
Well, when we come back from commercial break, we are going to listen to the studio version of I Wanna Love, and then we'll talk about your favorite places or least favorite places, maybe some road stories.
Okay.
But we'll be right back.
When it comes to podcasts and social media, stick with the best. Grand Forks' best source. Keep up to date with local happenings and news, interviews with city leaders, athletes, nonprofits, and of course, lots of feel-good stories. Grand Forks' best source is a great way to advertise your business or events with the most economical ad packages available. And contact us to find out how you can have your own podcast with the best studio in the area. Check out Grand Forks' best source on your favorite social media app. Grand Forks' best source, the Forks' best local podcast. Call 701-213-0863 or online at gfbestsource.com. We love the Forks. Grand Forks' best source, giving the Forks their identity again.
What's up, Red Lake Nation Radio? This is your host, DJ Soko. Come join me if you're Ace or Donnell from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Soko Saturday, where I have a new segment, Soko's Metal Madness Hour from 7 to 8 p.m., bringing the North all the new and classic metal to the masses. The first 3 hours will be the old school hits, the rock and roll classics, and all other genres of music. Even country. So come take a cruise with me, DJ Soko, bringing the fire right here on 105.3 WRLN, Red Lake Nation Radio. Yeah.
Hey everybody. Season 2 of Adulting with Jake is underway, but while you wait, you can always relive Adulting 101 Season 1 and every excruciating detail and every terrible pun, lame joke, and frankly, every poorly acted scene out now on our channel, CookingWithJakeShow.com.
Visit littlebobbybuzz.com, your source for Little Bobby merch and music. Keep up with the bar and don't forget about the buzz with Mama T. That's littlebobbybuzz.com.
I wanna love these feet and these strong legs that hike me up the mountain where I wanna go, wanna go. I wanna love these hands and these long arms that swim me across the river with graceful strokes. I wanna love this belly, round and soft, honoring this feminine body that I'm blessed to live in. 'Cause I was taught from the time I was a little girl that this body would never be good enough, no, no. Now I've spent enough time here in this world to know this body's more than good enough. Oh. This tongue that tastes and these teeth I chew with. I wanna love the lines around my eyes, the sagging of my skin, and every strand of silver hair that comes in. I wanna love every single scar, 'cause all of these marks are just reminders that I am a survivor. Enough time here in this world to know I'm far more than good enough. That hike me up the mountain where I wanna go, wanna go. I wanna love these hands and these strong arms that row me down the river with graceful strokes. I wanna love this belly, round and soft, honoring this feminine body that I'm blessed to live in. Honoring this to live in.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so I've just been informed that this is the first time this is the premiere of this video
Yep.
on my show.
On your show.
Ah, okay, that is the greatest song. That is like every woman over 40 years old needs to hear this song. This is the new
I call it like my menopause song.
yeah, yeah, that is like literally.
I mean, but if I had heard that when I was younger, it would have saved me so much grief too. So it's not really just for those of us that are older. And like a lot of men have heard that song and go, that's for me too. Like I have issues like around my own, my own body image and stuff. So I think it's really for all of us. It's just that comes from my perspective, happens to be in a female body. So
That's amazing.
and I wanted to mention that I forgot to say before that my producer, Brett Levick, who's an amazing producer, he's worked on my last several albums with me, and he's playing a second electric guitar on that too, which is helping drive the song along. And I wanted to give credit where it's due because he's a bad mofo. He's so good.
Thank you for catching yourself. I know what you wanted to say. Andy's guitar was ripping. That was awesome.
Yeah, Andy's a ripper. He's just, and he was like, it's funny because he kept, doing this stuff that was like, he likes to be more subdued because he wants to support the music. And finally, I just looked at him and I said, Andy, cut loose. Just like melt my face. This song needs a face melting solo. And he goes, oh, so just like to the wall. And I was like, yes. So then he went for it and I was like,
down to the wall.
The one. And then I was like, that's the one. We don't need to do it anymore. That's the one.
And what album is it? This is from your new album. What's the name of that?
So the new album is called Reverse the Flow, and it is coming out on October 10th. I'm so excited. I am so excited to share it with everyone. Yeah, it's been a complete labor of love. Here, I'm going to show it to you.
Oh,
isn't that a cool art? I wish you could see it close.
Who does the artwork? Who does the artwork on that?
So the artwork is done by Mike Dubois, who's an old college friend of mine who lives in Woodstock, New York, and he has Happy Life Productions, and he's done art for like everybody that you can think of. The Dead and Company, Tedeschi Trucks, Tom Petty, like so many of these acts he's done art for. And he did the drawing, the painting for my second album back in 1989. We went to college together in like 1984, 85. And he did my second album's cover. And then we went and I did a big show in Woodstock, little show that felt big in Woodstock this last year. And we reconnected and I just said, hey, I've got this, I'm working on this album. This is my concept. Do you want to do a painting? And he was like, yes, I do. So this is what he came up with. I mean, it is so cool.
That is so awesome. Well, you know what? I promised everybody before we went to break, and you looked like you lit up a little bit, like you had some ideas. Your favorite places to play or worst places to play?
Well, I have a lot of favorite. I'm not going to go to worst because I don't like when I have
you don't have to call it out the exact location, but you can tell the story from it.
I've had a bad gig. I want to forget about it. But most of the gigs are good. Like somehow they end up being good. Like you just bring it. If I bring it, it's okay. Sometimes, if it's like a noisy place, I have to bring it a little extra and shut people up, like have to just sing a little more, or whatever. But I love, like, there's certain towns that, people know all the songs. And so there's something magical about that, like Arcata, California, Eugene, Oregon. There's places that I play where when I go there, Santa Cruz, California, like where I'll go there and like I don't have to sing. Like I could literally just start playing the words and the audience knows the songs. Like as far as my back catalog. So there's some magic to that. I like that. But then, honestly, like I did a show in Urbana, Illinois last year, and I'd never been there before. And I did this show there. I played at this wonderful church, and it was just like from the moment the show started, it was just magic. There were like you could feel the sparks everywhere. And so there are shows like that. And the Woodstock show was like that. And Amherst, Wisconsin, like the Stevens Point, Amherst area, like I have a lot of friends and family there. Minneapolis was a really fun show. I mean, I can't say where is bad because my brain is spinning with all the wonderful towns that I've played in, even just more recently. I mean, I did have a couple shows where like I had one show, Carbondale, Colorado, where literally one person came to the show. So that was kind of a bummer. But at the same time, I was like, well, I'm going to give that one person what they came for. And the one person left really happy.
When have they ever had a solo show just ago?
That was the smallest show I've ever done. Before that, it was back in like 1990, I think. I played for 6 people in a town in Colorado as well, which is funny. That was in Colorado Springs. But my friend who was putting the show on actually had like a devastating kayak accident. And so she didn't do anything to promote the show because she was in the hospital.
Oh.
And that's why there were only 6 people there. So, there's a couple people that were at that show, came to a show that I did on the last tour and remembered that show. So,
wow.
You
you
have
any tours coming up?
You just bring it every night. If there's 600 or 6 or 6,000, whatever it is, you got to bring it. That's our job.
Yeah. Do you have any tour dates coming up?
Yeah, so I have a show in Berkeley on the 8th, Santa Cruz, these are California, Santa Cruz on the 9th, and then the 12th, I'm playing at the Joshua Tree Music Festival. And then in November, I've got a bunch of Oregon shows. And then I have a couple Petty Thievery things this winter, and then I'm basically just working on booking. So the spring, I'm hoping to make it through the Southwest into the Midwest and all around in the spring.
That's awesome. And they can find all that information at www.alexdimiceli.com.
You got it. It's right there. It's right there.
He's good, isn't he?
Down there. I see it.
Right there. He's good, isn't he? He's good. Hey, remind me to give you a raise, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
If you had one message to tell the youth about getting into the music business, what would you say?
I would say just, I wouldn't get it. I don't consider it. Yes, it's a business. But what I would say is if you don't eat it, drink it, sleep it, dream it, and it's not who you are, then it's not who you are. But if you eat it, drink it, dream it, sleep it, wake up, and that's what you want, and that's who you are, and you have something to give, then do it and just follow it. Just go for it. And don't expect to get stuff back. Like a lot of times, like with things like music is a service industry, and it's not about what you get from other people. It's about what are you bringing to other people? What do you have to offer? Like this is, from me, like, I just feel like you have to find your wealth of of what you have to give from your source, whatever that may be spiritually. And I certainly do not want to tell anyone where their spiritual source should come from. So I leave it at that. But like, you have to have your spiritual source, and that's where you get your energy, and that's where you get your good, what their good vibes that you can put out into the world. And then you do that. And when you need nourishment, you look to that. Not a lot of times I have friends who if they have a bad show or no one comes or whatever, it's like there's this depression, and it's like, yeah, we all have that to some degree, but the reality is you can't be thinking about what you're getting. You have to focus on what you're giving. And if you're good and what the music that you are offering, whether it be instrumental or vocal or lyrics or no lyrics, in whatever language you speak or sing or don't sing, it's got to be like, it's your gift. So you want to share that gift. So share the gift and give it as a gift. And yes, you should be able to make a living, and it's hard, and it's not an easy road. And if you want an easy road, you might want to become a plumber. I mean, not that that's an easy road. No. Everybody needs a plumber.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to hire a plumber. So if you're looking for the job that will always pay you no matter what, and you'll get paid well, become a plumber or an electrician.
Or a mechanic.
Or a mechanic. But if you eat, breathe, sleep, and dream music, and that's who you are, then just be prepared to pay the plumbers and the electricians.
Thank you so much.
Plumbers and the electricians.
Thank you so much for sharing your gift with us tonight and being on the show. We had such a fun show today. You guys, you guys have to tune in tomorrow though to Renegade Radio. We're going to roast the host.
Ooh, is that you? Are you going to get roasted?
No. The host of Renegade Radio is Frankie Slauson. It's his birthday, and we're going to roast him for his birthday. So tune in. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening, and I will see you guys next time.
Thank you Thanks for having me.
Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting-edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on-location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Mama T sent you.